Oh my god! Holy shit. Okay, loving it so far. We're off to a great start.
It looks promising. Okay, never mind.
So, Ethan, it is a really great time to be a Dragon Ball fan nowadays. There's Dragon Ball Super that's currently airing and enjoying a lot of success in Japan and across the world. There's Dragon Ball Fighterz coming out that people are very hyped up for. And a new movie was just announced to come out later this year. So I thought because of that it would be a good time to talk about the live action Dragon Ball movie. Nope, not that one. We talked about that one already. Nope, not that one either. That movie sucks. Yep, that one. We're here to talk about that one today. Dragon Ball, The Magic Begins.
So I would say out of the 3 live actions that have been produced, this one was probably the best one that I've seen.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack with this one. It was produced in 1991 in Taiwan. It's an illegal bootleg, and it's kind of an adaptation of the first arc of Dragon Ball in which Goku and Bulma meet. It's kind of an adaptation of that, and also kind of an adaptation of the first Dragon Ball movie, Curse of the Blood Brubbies. There's a couple of things from that movie that end up in this one, and some other elements from later Dragon Ball are also pulled in, so it's kind of like a big mesh of Dragon Ball stuff.
Hey, what's that funny thing you got there?
It's a truck.
How can it walk without legs?
Uses gasoline.
Hey, what's gasoline?
Oh dear, where do you come from, you jerkball?
Hey, I'm not called Jerkball. I'm Monkey Boy. Hey, tell me, do you have a name?
Man, they really,
I'm a monkey boy.
they really are trying to avoid some copyright infringement.
We watched an English dub of this movie, and I think that dub was concerned with copyright issues, so a lot of the names are changed, like the Dragon Balls are called the Dragon Pearls.
Altogether, there were a total of 7 Dragon Pearls.
But the movie's still called Dragon Ball The Magic Begins, and it has the word Dragon Ball in the title.
Master Roshi and Goku, they replaced him for Monkey Boy, Turtle Guy.
There's Yamcha, who's called Mr. Westwood, and he even dresses like a cowboy at some point.
Is that Yamcha?
Maybe.
Who are you?
This is my master, Mr. Westwood, and me,
Mr. Westwood.
He's the bandit of the West.
Oh my goodness, sir! Looks like you've got yourself a rival!
I like that Puar is a bird. How to make Yamcha more interesting. Make him a cowboy. The story is kind of similar to the beginning of Dragon Ball. Goku is this kid that lives in the woods, and he lives with his grandpa, so that is like the first big change. Grandpa Gohan, who normally is dead at the start of the Dragon Ball story, he's alive here, and Goku lives with him. They have like a nice relationship. They train together and fight and glide around the air.
Yeah. I like that part because within a lot of the source material, you don't get to see a lot of interaction between Grandpa Gohan and Goku. And you get a little bit of that in this movie, which is kind of true to the rest of the canon. They have a very like buddy-buddy relationship.
The fighting choreography and, all the action is pretty good. It's technically very impressive for the year 1991. Lots of jumping around, lots of flying. I especially like Goku's power pole, which, in the series it just expands. And it kind of does the same thing here. And it's I enjoyed it. It was like a neat effect to represent what happens in the show. So Goku and Grandpa Gohan. I'm sorry, not Goku. Monkey Boy is training with his grandpa, and they have a very nice relationship. And his grandpa tells him to go get some food, and he says he's gonna go get a fish, and by fish he means crocodile. So we get a wonderful sequence where Monkey Boy beats up a crocodile, and on his way back home he runs into Bulma, and there's the classic scene that we've seen a couple times now where Goku meets Bulma and Bulma shoots Goku in the face, and just like in the Korean movie, she shoots at him with a fucking machine gun, and it's awesome.
My God, what's that?
Yeah! It happened again! Machine gun to the face, Goku! Fuck off. Oh, love it. This movie has like a very intense opening where a village gets fucking obliterated by these war army. They go around, they blow up their houses, they shoot the civilians. It's very violent. Who is this guy? Is that Pilaf?
Man, that headgear looks like Maleficent. Like,
Who are you?
King Horn, the terrible King Horn, destroys this village. He's collecting the Dragon Pearls, and he has several of them already, and he knows Grandpa Gohan has one, so he's gonna go get that, and he sends his soldiers to get them. On the way to get Grandpa Gohan, the soldiers pass by Bulma, who notices them, and when Goku and Bulma meet, she mentions that she saw the army heading towards his grandpa's house. And they get there, and they blow up the place, and they attack Grandpa Gohan, and we don't know if they kill Gohan or not. You know, they leave us in suspense and don't let us know, because it creates the question of, oh, is Gohan alive? Are we going to have to save him?
yeah, I think that part kind of worked because it kind of kept the tension up a little bit. But what didn't work for me was, I don't know what their names were in this iteration, but Shu and Mai's costumes with their ridiculous shoulder pads. They looked like they came out of a very cheap Michael Jackson music video.
A lot of this feels like a cheap Michael Jackson music video.
How come I got back so old?
Hey, Grandpa, the sun will come out soon.
Seriously, Goku looks like Asian thriller Michael Jackson.
I was thinking he reminded me a little bit of Michael Jackson, and not in a good way.
He kind of looks like a very discount Asian Michael Jackson, and it's almost like unnerving to see Michael Jackson's eyes staring back at me in Goku costume from the 90s.
It just makes me want, like, Michael Jackson as Goku. Can you imagine that?
I feel like you get a lot more moonwalking scenes than a lot of fight scenes at that point.
Okay, so the bad guys take the Dragon Pearl, and Monkey Boy and Bulma basically decide that they're gonna get them back. So they set on the quest to do that, and on their quest they run into a couple of our favorite characters. Oh, they ride an elephant at some point. That part was awesome.
Yeah.
And then they meet this girl who was part of the village that got destroyed, and she joins them along. And then they run into Oolong. Now, Oolong in the Korean movie looked like a nightmare, like so scary. Here, he looks pretty scary too, but not as scary. He's just like in brown makeup and like has a pig face, and he can do what Oolong can in the show, which he can shape-shift into anything.
Granddad never mentioned that there were men as dark as this. Wow, look at that nose. He's just like a pig. He's a monster. Hut.
Little boy, keep out of this. Do you know this girl is my bride-to-be?
God, he looks like a combination of Oolong and Mr. Popo. One thing that's worth noting is that even though they show him in the pig form, they only show him in the pig form for very little, and for the rest of the movie, he's just like a fat guy.
I feel like it would have been too expensive to keep him in blackface, I guess.
Yeah, they all get together and they decide to find Master Roshi, or as he's known, the Turtle Man. You know, the live-action portrayals of Roshi have not been good. And this Master Roshi, I fucking loved him. There he is. Ah, there's our boy. Yay! Oh my god, he actually fucking looks like Master Roshi.
Magic!
Go Roshi, go Roshi. How long is this?
Magic cloud!
He has a dragon pearl, and they want to get the dragon pearl from him. And because he's a pervert, he says he'll give it to them if Bulma shows him the top, as he calls it. Bulma convinces Oolong to shapeshift into her so that Oolong as her shows him boobs. And then there's this sequence where Roshi flirts with the shape-shifted Oolong, and it's a weird, kind of uncomfortable sequence, but not unfaithful to the original source. So, yeah. So King Horn, his ships show up at Roshi's island, and they destroy everything and take the dragon pearls, and now they only need one more to have them all, and it's the one that Oolong had. So our heroes all show up at the Horn headquarters and basically have a shootout with the Horn army. And it's a lot of explosions, a lot of shooting. It's a lot of things that happen in this climax. Also, Oolong, who has been using his shape-shifting ability, just says, "Fuck that, I'm just gonna grab a machine gun and shoot at everything."
Malilia takes the first blockade, and you the second. Die!
Yes! Oh, fuck. Yeah, I could shapeshift, or I could just get a machine gun and shoot up the place. They have the showdown where turns out Grandpa Gohan is alive, and King Horn says, "Give me the last dragon pearl or I'll kill him." They have a fight, and the zombies show up, and in the middle of all that, Roshi and Gohan have a back and forth, and Grandpa Gohan is like, "By the way, King Horn, he's keeping the Dragon Balls inside of his stomach," and the turtle guy is like, "Oh, I know, let's put this dragon pearl inside of him. Let's make him swallow it, and that way the dragon will pop out and just destroy him from the inside," which is actually a thing taken from the first Dragon Ball animated movie, so props on being faithful there. And so they make King Horn swallow the dragon pearl, and in the middle of all that he gets beamed up back to his ship, and he explodes, and the ship blows up as well, and out of the explosion, Shenron comes out. And in the dub, he has the most boring voice.
You are all only granted one wish. So what do you wish for?
His voice.
They couldn't even, add any effects to it, add sound design to his voice to, reverberate it, make it deeper. It's just a guy sitting at Starbucks taking your order, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's what he sounds like. So the girl, whose name I don't remember, asks for her village to be brought back to life, and conveniently everyone from her village is there, and they just get back up and are alive now. And everything is solved, and Monkey Boy and Mr. Westwood are like, "Well, I guess this should end with us fighting, I suppose."
I have a wish.
Yes, what is it?
I want to challenge you to a fight.
Well, your wish is granted.
Okay, I guess you might as well end it like that. So, Ethan, would you recommend Dragon Ball The Magic Begins?
If you had to choose between the 3 live action films, yes, I would recommend this one. Only if you had a gun to your head.
I would definitely recommend this. I thought it was a lot of fun, especially if you're a Dragon Ball fan. It has its issues, which is to be expected, seeing how it's a bootleg illegal movie. But it has a lot of fun action. I think there's a lot of legitimately good comedy in it, which is in itself truthful to the manga. And if I was comparing it to the other live action versions, it is, miles better than Evolution. Of course, if you compare it to the Korean movie, it's slightly better as a movie. I don't know if I enjoy it as much, but it's definitely a more coherent story. And I think that has to be appreciated. So I'm sure you've heard how Disney recently bought 20th Century Fox. But maybe what you didn't know is that 20th Century Fox owned the movie rights to Dragon Ball. So now that Disney owns Fox, I think that means they own the movie rights to Dragon Ball. So we might have a Disney live action Dragon Ball movie sometime in the future. Does that excite you?
Given their resources, I think you could end up with a pretty good adaptation. Maybe not the best, and it won't satisfy everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're gonna make a big budget Hollywood Dragon Ball movie, Disney is definitely the studio that I would give a shot to. Like, they're the only movie studio that I trust not to make, like, a shitty Michael Bay type movie out of Dragon Ball. So, I guess monopolies are cool, kids.